Are your cats also nightmare demons who wake you up 800 times in a night and cause you to have horrible bags under your eyes? Oh good, then you'll fit right in here. Welcome back, pumpkins. My name is Aaliyah, this is The House Beyond the Hedge, and today we are doing sort of a second part video to my summerween reveal video and that vlog that I did, so I will link it down below at the end of the video or wherever YouTubers link those sorts of things. And I know that we are well into August at this point, which for many of us is just fall now. I definitely felt that feeling. I don't know if you know what I mean, but this weekend we had gone to Portland and we're driving back here, and on the drive back, I could just tell. I could just feel it in the air, like that fall was coming. And I got so excited, but also I realized that I still have summerween content that I hadn't filmed that I really wanted to film for you guys. So that's what we are doing today. This is gonna be kind of a, like I said, second part wrap up. There might be a few things that fit in with the same theme down the line, but for the like summerween theme, this is gonna be kind of the second piece to that. So if you didn't watch my previous video, the theme that I chose for my content, both creation and consumption, basically just for my life. I really like to theme everything in my life constantly. That's like how I pick outfits, how I decide what to decorate with, how I decide what books to read. I just usually have some kind of theme that I'm into for that month or that season, and I just like to make everything aesthetic and vibey around that theme. So for Summerween this year, I chose the theme which I am calling Kids on Bikes Spooky Summer. And it is basically just a nostalgia bomb of a theme. So if you are a millennial or someone who grew up in like the 80s, 90s, or if you're just really into those time periods, like the aesthetic of it, the vibes of it, then this is the theme for you because we are just really digging into those 80s, 90s retro vibes. And Kids on Bikes is a hearkening back to a time when you just rode around on your bikes with your friends, your parents didn't really know what you were up to, getting into shenanigans, having a good time in the summer, or really all year round, but for Summerween, you know, we're kind of leaning into the summer version of that. And yeah, just being kids and having a good time, but with that little bit of like retro nostalgic edge to it now. So what is this video really about, you say? I am going to be recommending some things to you, showing you a little bit of a haul, some things that I've purchased, and content you can consume to evoke this theme and bring it into your life. And so we are going to start with movies and TV. I'm not going to go into this really in detail because you probably already know about most of these things. You can easily look them up on the internet if you want to read the synopses. Synopses? You know what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna read off a list I have that I made with help from my friend Tim, shout out to Tim. And this is just a list of things that kind of fall loosely into this category. Now I wanna have a few caveats. One is Kids on Bikes is generally like younger kids, so like probably like middle school, early high school, but if you have something you really like that fits into this and it's more like older high school kids, that's fine too. I would also say that Kids on Bikes is often sort of an 80s and 90s vibe, but there's at least one thing on here that is more, I think like in the 60s, and it is very much Kids on Bikes. So when I say like retro or nostalgia, those can apply to really any era that fits for you. So it doesn't have to be 80s or 90s. So yeah, I'm just gonna read this list of stuff. I don't know. These are all movies, TV shows, and I have seen most of these. There's a couple that my friend Tim suggested that I haven't seen, but we'll kick it off with Stranger Things because that is the thing that inspired this theme. I wanted to rewatch Stranger Things and see if I liked it more the second time because I never made it through the first time. I only watched through season 2. I didn't dislike it, so please don't yell at me in the comments if you're a big Stranger Things fan. I just didn't love it. I kind of just was indifferent. Like it was fine, and then I just stopped watching it. I don't know. So I really wanted to give it another chance because I know so many people truly love this show, and it is really the epitome of kids on bikes spooky summer. Now, not every season takes place in summer, obviously, but the third season, which is the one I'm currently on, so I have made it further than I watched originally, I believe takes place in summer because they don't have school or anything. So if you want to go for like the summer vibe, then you can watch the third season, but really the whole thing fits the kids on bikes theme. And then we also have It, which once again, very similar to Stranger Things in terms of the aesthetic, the vibes, the kind of feel of it, a classic kids on bikes movie and book, so I don't think I need to explain too much about that. Then we have Lost Boys. So Lost Boys I have not seen in quite a while, and this was one that Tim suggested because it's like one of his favorite movies, and I think this fits. There are some older kids in it, obviously, but I do think this truly fits, and you have the bonus of it being about vampires too, so you get a little bit of two summerween themes in there. Okay, and then this is one of my favorite kids on bikes movies, and it is one of the only ones that is about a all-female friend group, which for me, obviously growing up, was what I identified with. So this was like one of my favorite movies, still is one of my favorite movies, and that would be Now and Then. If you haven't seen Now and Then, I highly recommend it. It's definitely like a coming of age, kids on bikes vibe, and it does fit into the spooky summer theme as well because there is a little bit of a spooky element. They think they're communing with like the spirit of a boy. I guess that's something I should say is like to make it kids on bikes spooky summer, it kind of has to have some little extra element that gives it that spooky vibe because there's a lot of kids on bikes themed things that aren't at all scary or spooky. So everything on this list mostly has like something a little bit extra to give it that spooky flair. Then we have the Monster Squad. This is one that I have not seen, so I cannot speak too much about what it is, but that is another one that my friend Tim suggested. Then Goosebumps. Anything Goosebumps related, you could see I'm wearing my Goosebumps shirt right now. There are other Goosebumps items in this haul that I'm going to show you. Then Are You Afraid of the Dark fits right in, same as Goosebumps, same sort of theme, similar era, similar vibe. And then The Midnight Club, which is a more recent show that was on Netflix, which I have seen part of. Once again, I kind of stopped watching. Not because it was bad, just because I don't know. I just got distracted and did something else instead. That kind of happens to me a lot. But it definitely seemed to fit this theme. They weren't riding, I mean, I think another caveat is like they don't have to technically ride bikes. It's just sort of the friend group thing. So the name Kids on Bikes is evocative because a lot of these things are like the kids riding their bikes around. But to fit into this theme, I don't think it has to technically be them riding bikes. I don't even own a bike, so don't judge me for that. But so Midnight Club, they're not really like riding their bikes around because they're all, if I remember correctly, terminally ill. Or at least very ill, but it was good. The part that I watched was good. And then Super 8, which is a really great movie. I highly recommend that movie. Summer of '84 is also a fairly recent one that came out. I have seen that one. I remember it being pretty okay. Like, I don't remember it being like the best movie ever, but it really fits the theme well. So if you want to give it a shot, it's certainly worth a watch. And then another one that my friend Tim recommended is The Gate. So I also don't know much about that one, but it's on my list to watch. And then, of course, Goonies, which I did have somebody in my comments recommend this one, and I'm not sure why I had left it off. I think maybe I thought it wasn't spooky enough or something, but I mean, there's like pirate treasure and like, I feel like it fits. So I've included that on there. So those are all the movies and TV shows that sort of fit the theme that I have on my list to watch. I've either watched them or planning to watch them. Let me know down in the comments if you can think of any that fit the theme that I have not included here, because I will certainly add them to my list. I can already tell this is gonna be a really long video, so we're gonna try and move it along. So next up we have books, which I also am not going to go into this very much because I did talk about this in my last video. You actually saw me buy these books, but I'm just going to show you them again in case you haven't seen that video. We of course have It, which needs no further explanation. I have not actually started this yet because it is very intimidating, but it is on my list to read. And then we have also by Stephen King, The Body, which, oh, actually that reminds me of something that I don't have on my list for movies, which is Stand By Me, which is based on this short story by Stephen King. I still have never seen Stand By Me, which like, don't tell Will Wheaton that. But I do want to read the book and watch that movie eventually, so those are both on the list as well. And then the only books I've actually gotten around to reading from my previous blog is My Best Friend's Exorcism. And this has a TV show, I think, as well, which I also did not have on my list, but you could check that out. I have not watched the show. I thought this was pretty good. I think this book has a ton of hype behind it. I heard so many people talking about it on BookTube a couple years ago whenever it came out, and a lot of people really, really loved it. A lot of people really love Grady Hendrix as an author. I've only read one other Grady Hendrix book and I didn't even finish that book. So I'm not sure Grady Hendrix is like for me as much, but I did enjoy this one for the most part and I did finish it. So you can check that out if you want a kids on bikes spooky. I mean, this is high school girls. I actually, honestly, after reading this, don't think it fits the kids on bikes theme as well, but since I read it, I'm just gonna mention it here. I don't think it fits the theme as well as I thought it was going to. The girls are in high school and it's really mostly just about two girls. There is like a friend group, but it's not exactly the vibe that I was hoping for to fit this theme. So do with that what you will. Okay, and then of course I would be remiss if I did not mention the Goosebumps books. If you want something fun and easy to read and really gets you in that like retro nostalgic mood, Goosebumps it's your thing. I have been trying to keep an eye out for some at the used bookstore and at thrift stores, but I have not been able to find any yet. I'm gonna keep looking for some because honestly, I just want to add them to my collection. But I do have a couple of Goosebumps themed items, so let's move into the haul slash item recommendation portion of the video now. So the first item that I have that is Goosebumps themed is this book sleeve. If you have not watched my previous videos where I mentioned book sleeves, I really love them. It is just what it sounds like, a little sleeve to put your book in. So you can just slip your book right in there like that. And it protects your book if you throw it in your bag or, you know, you're carrying it around or you're leaving it out where your cats are gonna sit on it like mine do. This just helps protect it and looks really cute. And it's a little extra way to like add aesthetic to your reading. So if your book isn't aesthetic as you want, or it's not the right vibe, or you want these to match whatever you're doing, I like to use ones that match the season or the theme that I'm reading. So I got this Goosebumps one because I just thought it was so perfectly nostalgic 90s. And this one is from Always September. I will link the shop down below. It's on Etsy. But there are a ton of shops that sell these. You can look on Etsy and find ones that have different fabrics, different styles of sleeve and everything. So I would recommend going to check that out if you're a reader. And then the next thing I have, I don't know if it's not really a recommendation because you can't just like go out and buy this, I don't think, but maybe you could look for one on like eBay or something. It is this Goosebumps reading light. So it just clips onto your pages of your book and then it lights up. So if you're reading your spooky Goosebumps books in the dark, you can have just enough light to light the page and you can have all the lights off and it just adds that fun, spooky, you know, kid reading in your room past bedtime element, which I love. This is a true retro baby. It is from the 90s. My husband's parents basically kept every toy and thing that he ever had as a kid growing up and it was in their garage, and they recently just like gave it all to us. So we've been going through these bins and bins of like every toy that he had. So mostly 80s and 90s toys. Let me know if that is a video that you'd be interested in seeing because I could go through some of them in a video and we could like look at what toys are in there because they're all really like fun, nostalgic, very nostalgic toys. But this was in there and as you can see, it lights up. And so I just snatched this out of there immediately and commandeered it for my own, and it is perfect for reading spooky books at night. So if you wanted one of these, you could keep an eye out for one, like I said, on eBay, or if you found some other one that was kind of appropriately themed, you can find book lights now. I just don't know if you can find this exact Goosebumps one. Next, I'm also just gonna show this really quickly because you have seen it in a previous video that I did, but I went to Bath and Body Works and I got a couple of their summer fragrances that I think are super nostalgic and perfect for kids on bike summer. So this one is Firecracker Pop, or as we call them, Rocket Pops. And it smells exactly like that. It's a perfect scent version of eating a Rocket Pop, which to me, Rocket Pops are super nostalgic. I ate them a lot when I was a kid. They really harken back to my youth. So I definitely grabbed that. And then the other one is also kind of a fun, youthful, nostalgic scent, and it is Fruity Sherbet Scoop. And this one is a body cream that I got. And it kind of just smells like orangey goodness, but also reminds me of just being a kid for some reason. And then since we're talking about Bath and Body Works, we'll move on to candles. As you can see, I am burning my Stranger Things candle here behind me. I went to check out their Stranger Things candle collection. That's also in a previous video that you can watch. And I went with this pizza candle because it actually smells amazing and it really smells like pizza. Pineapple pizza to be specific, so that's your call if that's what you're into, but I actually really, really like it, and so I decided to get this one. I did see they're having a second Stranger Things release that's upcoming that's going to have different scents, and I think there's a chance there might be body care in that one, so I am interested to see what that has as well, and I will definitely be checking it out since I am currently watching Stranger Things. But I do have a couple other candles from small businesses that I'm excited to show you too. Okay, the first one is this At the Drive-In candle, which is from Amber and Oak, which is one of my favorite candle companies. And this one is a little bit earlier of like a nostalgia vibe. The scent notes are cherry cola, vanilla milkshakes, leather jackets, and muscle cars. So kind of more of that like 50s, like 60s kind of vibe. But I still think like a drive-in movie is very much a kids on bikes activity. And I really love the smell of this candle. I don't even know how to explain it, but it really smells like all of those things, including the leather, which I do love a leather scent in a candle. But it somehow mixes well with the cherry cola and all of that too. So I really, really love this one. And then I also have one themed after Are You Afraid of the Dark? And this one is called Midnight Society. Not to be confused with Midnight Club, which is a TV show, but Midnight Society is the club that they have in Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that show is very nostalgic for me, so I had to grab this one. This is from Purgatory Candle Co. It smells really good. And the scent is saffron, clove, and patchouli. It definitely is like a very smoky, like night vibe. I don't know if that explains it very well, but I think it works really well. This is the first purchase that I made from this company, but I think it's a good one. I love the scent of it. And I just have a little more information from them that they included just with like the candles. But I just thought this was really cute. Also has a very sort of nostalgic vibe there. And in case you are interested to know this, they are a woman of color owned business. So that's always nice to support some fellow ladies. I would recommend checking them out. I will link their shop down below. Okay, that is all the candles I have. I have a little bit of a food item, which is kind of funny. I would say actual food, like popcorn, any kind of snacks you ate when you were a kid are probably like the go-to. But for drinks, I highly recommend these Poppy sodas, which I know I am very late to the Poppy train, but I started drinking them very recently and I really love them, especially for sodas that were like sodas that I drank when I was a kid that I don't want to just chug a bunch of now because they're just sugar and bad for you things. I can drink an orange soda or a grape soda, which grape soda was always my favorite. And I can drink these and they're like a much better version of the classic grape or orange soda. And these are both just very nostalgic drinks for me. So that might not apply to you in terms of the flavors, but just try to find things that evoke those memories for you of being a kid and running around with your friends, and those will help you really get into the kids on bikes spooky summer mood. Okay, and we're down to the last couple of things. So next up is this very cute little camera, and the reason that I purchased this and am recommending it for this theme is not only does it look vintage, look retro, but also it is a digital camera that does not have a screen on the back. So essentially, it's like you're taking a disposable camera or like film pictures, but it's still digital, so you can upload it to your computer, you can post it on Instagram really easily. But part of why I chose this is because I really feel like it puts you in that mindset of back in the day when like we didn't have a lot of technology. So you like took a picture and you didn't know what the picture was gonna look like until a week later when you got the film developed or whatever. And it really helps you stay in the moment more because you're not like, oh, take a picture and then, oh, that one looks bad, so let's take another picture. You know, you really have to just take a picture to have a memory. And it makes it much more candid, and it makes it much more, like I said, you're a lot more present in the moment, and it is more like how things used to be. And I'm sounding very old when I'm saying this, but it is really, you know, how we used to take pictures back in the day. And it's really fun. It's fun, it's light, it fits in your bag, and you can take it around with you, take pictures of your friends. There is a flash. And you can look through the little viewfinder like a real life camera. It's just a fun way to embrace that retro feel and mindset. And this is from Camp Snap. I think there's a few different brands that are selling these kinds of cameras now, but this one's from Camp Snap. And I do like it quite a bit. You can change the filters on it in that you can upload a specific filter to the camera and then all your pictures will show up in that filter. So right now I just have it on the basic one, but there's like a vintage filter which does have that very like vintagey photograph feel. I mean, not like really old vintage, but you know, like retro vintage. So if you want to just have some fun summer memories, then I would recommend picking up one of these. And then next up, I got this from Etsy as well. And it is this Blockbuster VHS tape, but it's a light. So I'm realizing that I don't have anywhere to plug this in to show you because it has like a USB plug on it. But essentially the inside here lights up and it has a little remote that comes with it and you can change the color and everything. And I just love that it has that perfectly nostalgic retro vibe. And actually the Blockbuster, the last Blockbuster, if you didn't know, there is still one Blockbuster left. There's actually a documentary about it that you can go watch. And it is in my town. And I feel like maybe I should make a video about that. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a last Blockbuster video of me like going to Blockbuster and like opening an account and checking out movies. I mean, I'm probably gonna do it anyway because nostalgia reasons. I live for nostalgia, not just for my channel, but just in my life because I moved back to my hometown and so everything feels kind of nostalgic. But if you would like to see that in a video, let me know. But yeah, so had to get the Blockbuster one. They have all sorts of different VHS tapes with different movies. So I might get more. I might get like a Friday the 13th one or some horror movie that I like. But to start with, I had to get the Blockbuster video one because I feel like that goes the best with kids on bikes. You know, you're hanging out with your friends, you're going to the movie store, you're renting a movie, you're going home to your basement and like getting scared out of your mind watching some scary movie that you probably are too young to be watching. I mean, I never had a basement, but you know what I mean. I will once again link the shop that I bought this from. It is a small shop on Etsy, so you can find the information for that down below. And then last but not least at all is this beauty. It comes in this box. And I kind of put off making this video because I wanted to have this in hand and the shipping was delayed. Not because of the company, but just because of the mailing system, you know. But basically what this is, and I think the company's called 90s Time Machine. I'll link down below. Essentially what this is a cassette player, but also you can plug it in to your computer and record Spotify playlists onto a cassette tape. So you can essentially make mixtapes, but really easily off of your computer as opposed to how you had to do it back in the day. And I just thought this was the most nostalgic thing. It hit me so hard in the feels. You know, that feeling of just making someone a mixtape or a mix CD and giving it to them and you just play it all summer. And so I was really excited. And my husband is actually really excited about this too. He's gonna like make some tapes for me because historically you probably don't care about our relationship, but we've been together for a really long time since high school. And back in the day, he used to make me mixtapes and mix CDs like all the time. So it's kind of like a little bit of a throwback moment for our relationship too, which is really fun. So I'm really excited to use this. It like just came, so I haven't had a chance to use it yet. So hopefully it works fine. I mean, I tested the player and it plays a tape, so that's good. But as you may have seen from just trends, these sorts of nostalgia technology things like cassette tapes, like VHS tapes are coming back in, at least in the aesthetic of them. Can you hear Mr. Cat? What is it, Mr. Cat? What is it? What's wrong? He's rubbing on the camera stand. What is it? I'll be done in just a minute, okay? So yeah, super psyched to use this. I will maybe mention it in a later video once I've tested it out, or maybe even make a video about using this. Also, let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. It might be a little difficult because like it'd be hard to play any of the stuff because it would be copyrighted music, but maybe I could do some kind of test version with like royalty-free music on Spotify or something. Anyway, let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I'll try and figure it out. But I'm really looking forward to using this. And it comes with these 90s, I'll just take them out of here. These like 90s foam looking headphones, right? You're rocking it. You got your headphones plugged in and you're just ready to take on the world. And that is going to be my last thing recommendation slash part of my haul. I will say there are definitely free things you can do to fit with the theme. Obviously, bikes. It's right there in the title. Well, I mean, I guess if you don't have a bike, it's not free, but most people I think have bikes, especially kids. Ride your bike around, have a good time. Also, going to the library is free and you can check out Kids on Bikes books. A lot of towns have free events like outdoor movies and stuff. That would be a perfect activity to evoke that Kids on Bikes spooky summer feel. So there's tons of stuff that you can do without spending money, but these were just some things that I had purchased for myself anyway that I wanted to share with you because they really seem like they fit the theme of Kids on Bikes spooky summer. That's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you think about this theme and let me know down in the comments if you have any suggestions for, like I said, TV and movies, but also books, items, anything that fits the theme. I wanna know about it, so let me know down below. If you wanna follow me on Instagram, it's at House Beyond the Hedge. Oh, I forgot. There is one more thing. So if you notice behind me, I have an ambiance playing. I have created a Kids on Bike Spooky Summer ambiance playlist as well as a Kids on Bike Spooky Summer Pinterest board, just to give you an idea of like the aesthetic, the vibes. So I will link those down below in case you want to check them out or watch the videos on the playlist. Just a little something extra to help you get into the mood, the Kids on Bike Spooky Summer mood. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at House Beyond the Hedge. If you want to follow me on Twitch, it's at Trusty Parasol. And let me know if you have any video games that you think fit this theme. I haven't really done a ton of research on it, but I would really love to play some. So if you have any that you think would be great, let me know in the comments. And Mr. Cat is now laying on the cassette recorder box, so I think I better go and pack all of this up. So always remember to keep the kettle warm because I will see you next time.